motherfuckers? Welcome to Smoke to Think On's Blunt Talk. I'm Rodney Dangermouth, smoke2thinkonCom. Do us a favor and like, subscribe, and share, and hit that Twitter and Instagram shit, because, you know, it's fun. Why not? Anyway, this is a possible re-live stream. I don't know. Fucking Google is not helpful here right now and let me know whether or not my last actual live streamed or not. So, I'm trying it again. Look, I'm not a fucking millennial, okay? This is what today's episode is about, and it's important to understand I am not a fucking millennial. Now, you might ask yourselves, why does that matter, Rodney Dangermouth? Well, here's the gig, all right? I'm tired of being miscategorized. A generation, currently, as it stands, all right, is something that we define by a series of time, right? A grouping of times. And I think that is a fucking significant miscalculation. Generations, okay, are determined by the evolution of technology and language, all right, and the rate of change in those factors make a significant difference in a generation. I wrote a little script. You feel free to read along, but I wanted to keep my thoughts organized for this Smoke to Think On because it's important. 85 to 90, all right, if you're born in 1985 to 1990, you are part of the Nintendo generation. You can go ahead and stop associating yourself with these poor lost idiots that are the millennials. Ours is a generation defined by a love of the reset button. If you don't like your major, hit the reset, find the new one. Don't like your job? Reset, quit that motherfucker, find the new one. Not real stoked with your spouse? You're right, hit the reset button, get a divorce, find the fucking new one. No big deal. That's the Nintendo generation. Now Genx'ers, you know, they're the last to value true resilience. You know what I mean? They stuck with the shitty jobs and the shitty positions so they can move up in the company towards CEO and get rich, you know, as the 80s. You know, they finished the degree that they didn't like because they'd already invested so much time into it. And they stuck through shitty marriages and relationships for the kids, right? 85 to 90, we don't do that shit. We get the divorce, we get the new job, we choose our major at fucking random. On a fucking whim. Now, I think the millennials should start about 1995. Now, the reason is because 1990 to 1995 can be categorized as what I call the Napster Generation, the generation of free information and entertainment and entitlement. You know, everything intellectual should be free and easily accessible because these are the kids that were born into the internet at its prime, in its Wild West phase, when anything could be obtained at any moment. You know, and they're the first to be able to say, there was a time before the internet? Now, again, a generation is defined in history not by the years designated to it by some fucking standards committee, but by the attitude and value systems. The baby boomers gave way to the hippies, which brought us the Gen X, and the world went from communicating and interacting on an analog level to a purely digital one. Now, this is where the real shift happens between the Napsters and the millennials, okay? Things move faster in a digital world, including the rate of change in language and technology. So the time and intervals between generations in an industrial revolution / renaissance, like the 90s, where we boomed into this small chip technology, PCs in every homes, Windows 95, and then the .com boom and bust, which balanced our use of the internet. During that time, the intervals should be shorter, okay? So I'm not a fucking millennial, you know, and I'm not a Gen Napster. I'm a Gen Nintendo. Now, I do like puns, so you got to roll with that. But it's important to recognize the difference because the millennials were born into the digital era. You understand? There was the analog age, which was Gen X, Gen Nintendo, and Gen Napster, where even the Gen Napster kids were downloading their music over the phone line via dial-up internet. And it was right about that time, like I said, like 95, right about 95 when, well, no, excuse me, that time between like 95 and 2000 when things started to make the shift. And by 2003, we were entirely digital. Cell phones went entirely digital. The millennials don't know what life is like without texting or Snapchatting each other. You know, Gen Napster, my little brother, he's a few years younger than me. He remembers what it was like to play fucking video games over the phone line. Having to choose what time you played on your PC online game because if everybody was online at the same time, you didn't fucking get to play because the phone lines were overburdened. Millennials don't get that. There's a definite, significant relationship between language and technology, its evolution, and the period between generations. So this mass categorization of fucking several different attitudes and value systems, it doesn't fucking work. I'm not a millennial. If you're born 85 to 90, you too are a Gen Nintendo. So fuck all these idiots. That's the smoke to think on, motherfuckers. Thank you for tuning in. I am your host, Rodney Dangermouth. You're not told enough in the world that you're loved, so I will tell you now, I do love you. Thank you very much for tuning in. Like, subscribe, and share with your friends, and do the Twitter and Instagram and all that shit. We're trying to grow a community, so please be with us. Also, comment if you think I'm wrong. Comment if you think I'm right, but I'm more interested in the people who think I'm wrong.